Well, what a week we've had, and what a week we're going to have, because we start off the week by chatting to Jeff Lloyd from Australia. He's the feature man in Your Call, and this is going to be fun. We've had a pretty good week of sport.
I was at home watching on my two TVs, and I had cricket on one and tennis on the other, and both results sort of twisted at the end. I thought Federer with a couple of match points would serve his way through and win after what was a very close game. And then New Zealand needing to hold England off 15 runs in the last over. One catches a 6 and steps on defence. The next one comes with his bat, fluke, and they got 12 runs of their 15 that way.
The whole thing slays me, because it seems like New Zealand should have won in ordinary time with the overthrows and all of that. What was that all about?
They controlled the game because England, who had been a great side throughout the tournament, didn't bat well. Yeah. And suddenly they were under pressure, and they realised they have to get after the runs. And they made a few classical errors, even in the super over, bowling 2 wrong balls to where Stokes likes to sweep. He got a 4 in the last ball. The other boy, the wicketkeeper, got a 4. Yeah. So they get 15. But before that, they should have wrapped it up. But I've never seen a game like that. And unfortunately, the rules beat them. They got the same amount of runs in the super over. Yeah. And the rules stated more boundaries or something.
More boundaries, yeah.
So England won it.
Well, at the end of the day, both teams were fantastic.
Yeah, it was great to watch.
It was great weekend sport. South Africans did pretty well.
What at?
Golf.
Oh, okay.
Retief Goosen won his first Champions Tour title.
Okay, what's that, over 60s or something?
Over 50s,
Over 50s, yeah.
For you and I.
You and
okay.
I, yeah.
Okay, and then Dylan Fratelli won the John Deere Classic.
Where was that?
Shot 64, somewhere in America.
Oh, brilliant,
Yeah.
So he qualifies now for the major?
He qualifies for the Open, the British Open.
Starts this week at Port Rush.
This week he gets on the plane and flies out. And interesting about Dylan Fratelli, he went to Texas University, and his teammate at Texas was a guy called Jordan Spieth.
Oh yeah, okay. Legend.
Yeah, and Dylan Fratelli tells a story that Jordan Spieth and he used to play table tennis after they practiced. And Jordan Spieth could not beat him at table tennis.
Okay.
And after 4 games, when he got beaten every single game, he wanted to keep on playing until he beat Dylan Fratelli. And he says they used to go on long hours he was trying to beat. So he never beat him. So he said the difference between the two of them is the one had this driving force, and he said he's very methodical. He's not like Jordan Spieth.
Oh, that's good. That's a South African coming through.
Yeah, very good player, Dylan Fratelli. And I think he's sponsored by a couple of our mates. So that was a good start to the sporting weekend.
Surprise, surprise, Hamilton won again.
Oh, yeah. Well,
who watches that?
I told you, watch Mark Marquez.
Oh, is he still around?
Yeah.
Haven't they stopped?
This week he's going to race.
Okay.
Yeah. No, watch Mark Marquez. Don't worry about Hamilton.
And then we've got to touch on the Sharks. If ever you've seen a woeful performance. They come into town, these Griquas, Tafellager Griquas, and they roll us from the opening bell. I cannot believe. And they say they blamed the last coach. They got a new coach in. And
I can only laugh. I mean, the Sharks are the Sharks, and they've never changed.
Stadium
empty. The shark never changes its fins, and a leopard never changes its spots. Yeah. Lazy, moderate. That's what they are.
Moderate.
And lazy. I mean, they do not fight for each other. Their ball skills.
No wonder people don't want to go watch them.
Exactly.
Can't be Griquas.
Yeah. It doesn't matter beating Griquas. Play rugby, okay? Yeah. And show some passion, okay? It's no good just going out there and going through the motions.
Yeah.
It was very poor. I mean, very, very poor indeed. Anyway, that's a bad way to finish off the sporting weekend. Let's go and have a look at 3 to follow. Right, let's go to Kenilworth, and first one we pick out was race 8 at Kenilworth. Winter is over. This is a beautiful son of Twice Over, out of a What a Winter mare, bred by Highlands. My goodness, is a nice horse. Snaith trains him.
Yes.
Carty rode him. And I think that he's worth having a good look at, this horse. He'll be a big player next season. Let's go and pick him up at the start.
Yeah, this horse is in grey. He's well drawn. He gets out quite well, and he manages to get a bit of a position. Carty urges him to get into position because he is well drawn. Your winner is Ashbury Park, who's going up to the lead in the Platinum colours, and brother Louis showing pace. So they're getting on. But this horse here, he doesn't know much about it. Robert's trying to take him on towards the fence, and he's got his head sideways. He doesn't know what is going on. He did find support though, Jim, from 20 to 1 to 7 to 1.
Yeah, well, they knew something because he was very unlucky to get beaten. Ashbury Park, as you say, is in front, cruising along, dictating, having a good look over his shoulder. And I think it was Bernie rode him. And then sitting in third position, or fourth on the fence, the big grey. And this is a big, long striding, typical staying twice over.
Yeah. James, and what we found, as they turn for home, Berners rode a very good race from the front. He lets this horse just quicken away here. And for a furlong or so, from 4th to 5th now, the grey, and a little flat-footed, I thought, Jim.
Yeah, absolutely. He goes down the inside and he looks like he's going to run nowhere. He just really battling, gets a couple of taps with the left, down the shoulder, down the thing. Then Carty pulls a stick through to his left hand. Now he pushes him along. The bird's flown, and that's going to win the race. And then he gets going inside now the 200-meter mark with a right-handed. Then he tries to change the whip. I don't know what was going on there. And now he's really getting after him. And I think there's 2 or 3 strides where he just seemed to try and get the whip into the right hand.
That cost him.
Might have cost him the race.
Yeah, no, that's another one to follow, Jim.
That really is a nice horse, and I think he's a lovely, big, strong son of Twice Over, as I said. And we'll be talking about Twice Over later in the show. But the next one we picked up was, we went to Scottsville. And say what you will about barrier trials, this horse, if we'd never known anything about him in a barrier trial, he wouldn't have started just above favourite. He was very unlucky to get beaten. Winter Chill is by What a Winter out of a Caesar mare bred by the Royden Turners, and he ran a cracking good race. Let's go and pick him up at the start.
Yeah, he's in the yellow silks, the estate late Royden Turner, and he's just a little slow. And he bumps the horse on his outside. You can see him in the yellow silks. He's at the back. The 4 of them are going very, very quickly. They get rolling and trying to get him off the bit. It is 1,000 metres. Peace Train is going very quickly and compounds. The winner, Candle Cove, to the left of the screen, that runs a good race. Krishni's Jets up there as well. And Winter Chill, as I said, in the yellow, starting to close in. And it's right behind the winner now, Candle Cove.
Yes, switches onto the inside. Left-hand side of your screen. Candle Cove's 1 off the left now, 2 off the left. And he now moves up to Candle Cove, but only Greenness beats him. But the barrier trial showed what type of ability this horse has got. And here he's actually got Candle Cove. I thought he was going to win it. And then a strong left-handed whip from Muzi Yeni on Candle Cove gets it home. You can see Muzi. But I really think that this was a very unlucky loser. And I think next time he will go in. He's a really, really nice horse. You'll probably find Marcus will ride him next time, and he'll get home.
Yeah.
Right, we go to Vaal, and it was a nice race meeting out there, and Candace Dawson stepped out, a really nice horse. Captain L, filly, she's worth her weight in gold now, this filly. Let's go and have a look at her. Her name is Scarlet Tiger.
Yeah, she's down the inside, and she started 33 to 10. She opened 9 to 4. Gavlarina's the pilot. It gets out very quickly and moves over from that inside draw. You know, you've got Kandavar, showing pace, Rainbow Haze, Great Glory. They're putting speed up. But this filly with Gavin, Scarlet Tiger, the Captain L, has got to the centre of the course now. And our friend Mr. Lorena thinks, well, I'm in the best ground now. Let's see how good they are. And Jim, going towards the 500, these others that are chasing can't get a blow in here.
No, they've got no chance of getting to her. She's actually cantering in front. She's out of a Duke of Marmalade mare bred by Clava Flay. And I think this is a very, very nice filly. She actually scooted away from them here and ended up winning by about 4.5. I think that they weren't much behind her. But everything about the way that this filly did this was right and good. And you'll find that she'll probably improve quite a lot from this. The time wasn't bad, 57.5. And she actually won gear down.
Yeah, follow this one.
Well, there you go. Those are three that look like they're certainly worth putting into your black book. And the black book's been paying well. You've got to have a close look at them. We're going to feature Jeff Lloyd later on. So let's go and have a look at what he had to say when we asked where he was and where are they now. We did play this up, but because it's Jeff Lloyd's show this, let's go and have a look at what he had to say.
Hi guys, this is the Gov. Now been in Australia for the past 11 years. After Sydney and 3 years in Hong Kong, we decided to settle here on the Gold Coast in Queensland. I've won the last 3 Queensland jockey titles and currently this season leading by 21. I was set to retire last year but decided to go on just one last year. I really enjoyed myself coming back to ride in the July last year. Coming second was my best achievement up till now, and riding and winning on the day was fantastic. It was great to come back and see everyone again.
If you've been involved in horse racing in South Africa but have either moved away, immigrated or retired, we want to hear from you. Send us a short 30-second video recording on WhatsApp and we'll flight it on the show. Clips can be sent to either James on 071 588 5769 or Paul on 083 779 1311. We look forward to hearing from you.
There you go. Jeffrey will be chatting to us in the Your Call segment, and we'll show you some fascinating footage which Nicholas put together for us and for everyone that's interested in whatever Jeff's done. It's going to be a great little discussion. We're looking forward to it. But there you go, sitting in Australia, having a lovely time. Let's go and have a look at the Plum of the Week.
Path to the inside, Mackenscar's running on, La Ferrari's drifting towards the inside and that's costing him ground. Mackenscar's running on, Marzipan Path on the inside, La Ferrari, Marzipan Path, Mackenscar's coming home stoutly on the outside, Aaron Zabandlini and Mackenscar, Marzipan Path's on the inside, Drunken Sailor's taken from nowhere but it's Mackenscar, Drunken Sailor, Marzipan Path and Great Dictator.
Well, there you go. If you want to back winners in work riders races, you back the best rider. And Aaron is patently the best rider amongst that bunch. The rest of them, they're going to brush up a little bit. Go and ride that mechanical horse experience and start pushing a little bit and get themselves balanced and whatever. I mean, you see how professional the work riders are in Johannesburg.
Ooh, yeah, they've been doing it for years at top level. Yeah,
those guys are different class. These guys have got a lot of work to do. But this guy, Aaron Zabandlili, if you're going to back him, he could have got 4-1 about this horse, Mackenscar, early. He could have got 33-10, 7-2 at any time on Enterbet. And you've got to be with the right guy. He kept a balance the last 300 meters, and that's one in the race. There were horses in there that actually had those horses measure. But well done to...
Second win for Mackenscar. He's a half brother to Sniper Shot.
Yeah.
And I heard Dennis saying they wanted to send it to PE. One of the clients said, no rush. This also win races, you know.
Yeah, I think that Dennis is probably right. He's had his problems, and, but he always showed that he had ability. You know, his second start he won pretty easily.
Yeah, that's right.
Looked like a nice horse.
He didn't do well in Cape Town, Den said.
Black Milalouche, bred by Birch Brothers. I see that they've got a share in it. All the Millers have got shares in it. You know, the cricket playing Millers. All the cricket players, I think, are involved with this with Green Street Bloodstock. So good luck to them all. Very nice win, and certainly well worth watching who rides these horses in work riders races. We're going to come back to you with current affairs.
Okay.
Best race time odds, transparency of betting markets, friendly and super efficient staff, the ability to negotiate odds, a full service tote, with no limits, which is very important for exotic players, loyalty program, speedy withdrawal of funds, full odds multiple betting, and excellent in-play markets. These are just some of the many reasons that come to mind as to why I believe, as a serious punter, there is no online operator in South Africa that can realistically come close to matching what Interbet has to offer. Put simply, there's no other site like it, and the ability to negotiate odds adds to my fun and enjoyment. Interbet, where the professionals bet.
Hi and welcome to another edition of Current Affairs. No stakes racing around the province or the country, in fact, so we could show you. So Jim and I, well, especially Jim, you've done a lot of research of what's going on. And there's some interesting news coming through, and a couple to do with sales companies, a couple to do with riders, a couple to do with awards. But Saratoga's the first one, Jim.
Yeah, Saratoga's started on Thursday, and it's always a fabulous race meeting. It runs for 5 weeks. If you ever get a chance to go to a race meeting in the world, that you want to go and spend a few weeks racing, you go to Saratoga. They have the Haskell, they have all types of wonderful races there. And their betting turnover in the first 4 days was up $2 million.
Wow, that's okay.
The attendance was down slightly from last year, but I think last year there were some horses that were running that really people made an effort to go and see. You know, they had those
big horses.
top horses running there, and Saratoga, what a place to be! I mean, it's just one of the race meetings on the world stage.
Yeah, I remember because it clashed with Delmar for me. And I was over there.
Delmar starts this week.
Yeah, and I used to spend my time down in Delmar, but I must one day get to Saratoga.
There's a very, very interesting thing about Delmar, because you know they've got all these problems with the track surfaces at Santa Anita.
Oh, yes.
And Delmar have said that their track surface is absolutely perfect, and there's no problem. But there's still, you know, there's people that are out there who's got to say this, that, and the other about the track surface. The other thing that's caused a bit of controversy is a guy called Jerry Hollendorfer. You know him?
Yeah.
Top trainer. He had more breakdowns than anyone at Santa Anita, and they actually took his license away, which was I'm not sure that you could do that type of thing. But Delmar have said that they will welcome him, so he's going down there, and he's a top man.
He knows his stuff, Jerry.
And you wouldn't have thought that he'd be. You know, top guys don't send horses out that are not sound. So maybe just unlucky. Maybe the track surface is shocking.
Maybe it's a bad track.
Yeah.
All right, how about the Grand Prix de Paris?
Well, the Grand Prix de Paris was won by Japan, who's Galilei ran in the English Derby, who's one of the favourites out of the Daniel.
He won at Royal Ascot, did he?
Yeah.
He's one of their top horses.
Top horses, O'Brien, a 1.3 million guineas horse at Tattersall's October sale. And he really is the real deal. But I'm not sure there was that good a Grand Prix de Paris that he ended up winning it. And well, we'll see down the line, because all these horses are getting readied up to go with the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. You know, that's where they go. And I don't think he's good enough for that.
July Cup, the big spring?
July Cup, 10 Sovereigns. Okay, and you know who 10 Sovereigns is? No Nay Never.
No Nay Never,
out of an Exceed and Excel mare. And it was the 5th July Cup for Aidan O'Brien. But I think this is a smart horse. He got to the front and he dictated. He always looked like he was going to win. Acclamation, Frankie Road, I think, ran second. Pretty good, but no match for 10 Sovereigns. 10 Sovereigns are a very, very nice horse.
What about the Tattersall Sales, Jim?
Well, Tattersall Sales is a sale for horses in training. And a horse called New King by Frankel was a top price horse at the sale. And you know where it was bought for?
No.
Australia.
Australia?
Yeah.
Oh, so the Aussies rolled into town. It's a different hemisphere.
Yeah, but they buy these horses to go down for the Melbourne Cup.
Of course,
and this stamina. Is a Frankel, you see. And James Harron Bloodstock bought it.
Yeah, they're massive.
Yeah. But
was it expensive, Jim?
450 guineas, 450,000 guineas.
Okay.
Which is, and rand's about 8 million, 9 million rand.
Yeah, so they paid.
That's quite a lot of money.
We paid that here.
Yeah. For a yearling.
That's right.
But the most important thing about this was that the top buyer at the sale was a Qatari trainer called Mohammed Ghazali. Okay, he bought 18 lots.
Wow,
for 1.3 million guineas, and that leads me on to Bahrain, who have got a huge race coming on for them. Bahrain Racing Authority's got a £200,000 race for horses merit rated 95 plus, okay? Yeah. Free entry, they pay your travel costs, and they pay your keep, mile and a quarter on the turf. You think we could find a few horses here in South Africa that would go for a race like that? £200,000?
Might be a long way to go for a little money. There's a lot of money in Dubai, but you never know who's going to roll into town. You know, we've got good horses. Just talking about that, Do It Again's rated 120, Jim.
Yeah, he's rated 120 in the Longines rankings, which is unbelievable. You know, he's 7 pounds off the best, which is Crystal Ocean. Okay, Richard Faris made the top 10.
That's good.
The jockeys rankings, you've got Carice Teaton and Anton Marcus up there as well.
Yes.
But he made the top 10, which is phenomenal. You know, and I suppose he deserves it. He's a very, very good rider, Richard.
What I found very interesting, Jim, was that the July Cup, they brought in their timing setup. What's the game there?
Yeah, they started sectional timing in the July Cup race meeting, okay? And what happens is it goes to their offices in East Ealing in London.
Okay.
From the transponder on the horse's saddle cloth, and it's a tiny transponder. Remember the aggravation? I know when I was training, the aggravation I had with those bloody great big bricks that they put in the back of the saddle cloth. And I fought with them tooth and nail. It was just so unnecessary, and it was so uncomfortable for the horse. We don't have them anymore, do we?
Those have been... they're still going to go with the system, but that big one's gone.
Yeah, okay. And then the Racecourse Media Group are in charge of this lot. But it means that you could get all the timing data on the whole July Cup meeting, all the runners.
Well, what to me has always been very interesting with these timing things, James, is the distance the horse runs.
Yeah.
When you run 1,000 meters and you run second, you run 12 meters further, you feel aggrieved, you know, but you realize that's racing. You've got to have a draw.
You feel aggrieved because you know that your jockeys run all over the racetrack, okay, but instead of keeping the horse straight. And there are various tools that timing helps you with. 400 to finishers, sectional timings for the races so that you can see where the race has been run at a true pace. If it's run at a true pace, horses that come from way off them or horses that hold on up front really have run well.
It's a great guide, Jim.
It's when races are run really slowly, you know the front horses are going to be, the fractions are slow, the front horses are going to benefit. And when races are run really fast, the closers are going to benefit. So timing is huge. And, you know, you've got to commend the Racecourse Media Group and the BHA for getting this up and down. We've been sitting waiting for this for
we've worked on it a long time. It's been a long road.
Yeah. And
all right, Jim, what about stud now, Blue Point?
Well, Blue Point's gone to stud.
I think he won twice in the Royal Ascot Week.
Yeah, he won the King's Stand twice. He's just a phenomenal racehorse.
And he won the
He won in Dubai. You know, the
Yes,
first year in Dubai, he had
Yes.
that bleed at the start. They took
That's
him
right.
out.
That's right.
And then he came and won the next year. And I thought he was one of the most beautiful horses I've ever
fantastic.
seen. A beautiful, big, strong son of Shamadal.
Amazing speed for a Shamadal. Amazing speed.
Yeah.
He'd be up there and travelling.
Yeah,
And,
he's going to stand at Kildangan Stud alongside
Right,
his
he's-
sire
oh, man.
Shamadal in Ireland. And I must tell you, I'd send a mare to Blue Point any day of the week. I think that he really, really is a beautiful horse, and he's got a lot to like about him.
James, just talking about stallions, you see this new one that's come as a Deep Impact horse come to Maritzfontein. Did you have a look at it?
Yeah, I'm
45,000
actually
for
sending a
Lafol.
couple of mares to
Yeah,
him.
that's going to fill up. Sure, he was a Group 1 winner. Deep Impact has been a major force.
Yeah, Danon Platina is his name. He
What's his
really,
name?
Danon Platina.
Danon Platina. What does
Yeah.
it mean? Don't know. I don't know what it means. But I looked at the advert. I thought I could ask you because you're a bit of a font.
Yeah.
And I thought 45,000 Lafol, that'll be swamped.
Well, I'm sure that he'll do very, very
Yeah,
well.
me too.
You know, I
He's
really
an Mpunga, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's a grey horse.
yeah. He's a very, very nice-looking horse indeed.
Yes, he is.
And it's nice to be able to get stallions like that
Cool,
into
and
this
get to them, you know.
this country. I know that Mary's imported a Warfront horse as well. I
Actually,
think
when
its
you,
name's-
James, just calling on your memory here, we've lost some stallions.
yeah.
The Captainels, the Dynasties, we've lost some tops. Awake the Dawns, Soft Falling Rains. I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
No.
We've lost some, and I'm probably omitting 3 or 4 other top stallions. So we need replacements.
Yeah, there's no doubt that this might help prop up the industry. The biggest problem is, and we go back to this race in Bahrain, when we're going to be able to get horses out of this, out of this country.
Yeah.
I know Adrian Todd has said, now we've got to wait till the end of the year.
September or something like that.
Well, yeah, it's closer to the end of the year. It was going to be June. You know, he came on the show and told us June,
Yes,
definitely,
yes.
we're going to be out of here in June. That's not happening. Why
Yeah.
it's not happening, who knows? I
Just
don't know.
a stat sent to me. You know that, I'm going to put my glasses on to read this because it's
Yeah.
small. Jetmaster, Captainel and Dynasty have been amongst the most successful sires recently. All bred, all locally bred. The current freshman sires are dominated by Vercingetorix, Captain of All and Soft Falling Rail, all locally bred. The broodmare sires log shows the rise and influence of Jetmaster and Captainel. Have we reached the stage that Australia did when they were producing their own champion sires? Does look like it, Jim.
Well, certainly a big help.
Yeah, thanks, Linton. That was from Linton Ryan. He said, have a
Yeah.
look at it. Interesting stat, that.
Yeah, excellent. Is he watching the show at the moment?
Doesn't miss a moment. Doesn't
Yeah,
miss a
so
moment.
he's sitting there watching. That's
Doesn't
nice to
miss
hear.
a
Nice
moment.
to keep us informed.
Lint doesn't. Yeah, he
That's what
watches
I-
every show.
that's what
But
I
that's interesting about the SA Breds, and it gives us hope, especially as you're going back to protocols.
Yeah.
They've got to open those doors, Jim.
Yeah, well, you know, it's very, very disappointing because a year ago we were told, no, don't worry, last year was the year we'll definitely have it done. Then June, absolute final. There's no need for inspections. This and everything's been done. Nothing's happening, and I must tell you, it's depressing. Anyway,
Jim,
especially when
you're
you-
involved with international people about setting up that equine hub and that. Protocols make it better.
Oh, it is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, not only will protocols, will our export of horses go a long way to helping this industry get back on its feet.
Yes.
But we have in South Africa, what one must never forget is that we have natural resources and are able to breed horses far cheaper than anywhere
That's
else
the key
in the world.
and everybody's
Okay?
buying.
And as a result, who knows what might happen as far as stallion stations, huge
Shuttling.
mare farms,
Shuttling.
might be
So,
concerned
just-
with us and change our whole industry.
James, just getting back to Toddy's comments, it'll be later in the year. What are we just waiting for, an inspection or something?
No, I don't think that's the case. I just think that it just moves slowly, and I don't know why it should be moving slowly. They've got DDI involved. They've got the government involved. Got everyone involved.
They've got the right people.
who knows whether there might not be a flaw in the whole principle of the.
That's true.
That's the problem I have. I can't get my head around that the way we have set up the export protocols is the correct way.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, let's hope something happens, Jim. You know, as you say, you and I, we've been doing the show for 12, 13 years. Must have been 7 years ago we started it. We've had different people sit across from us.
Oh, yeah.
We brought the top vets in, we brought the top people in, and every year we held out a bit of hope, but it's just dragging on, it's protracted.
Yeah, it's very worrying, especially when you look at, you know, the rest of the world, how racing is flourishing. Japan racing, they held their big sale last week.
China are purchasing.
You know, the top price was $4.27 million.
James, that was they sold 200 horses, am I right? Is it?
Yeah, so around 200.
And what do they get for 200?
$99 million. Okay.
$99 million.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's a lot of money.
That is a serious amount of money.
And they had a 90% clearance rate, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And the guy who bought Richard Conroe, I think his name is, Richie Conroe, he's a Japanese guy. He bought the top price and he bought $10 million worth of horses.
There's people out there. There's people in South Africa who have money who will buy horses. Just things have got to be right. We've got to have the chance to get a return, you know.
Yeah. Well, the Magic Millions, you know, obviously gave their final results for the year.
Yes.
And they had their best year ever, 378 million turnover.
Go Barry Bowditch.
Yeah. Barry and the team.
You've got to get a Barry.
Okay.
Well done to him.
And what they've decided, they're carrying on with Book One, and they're carrying on with the 888 lots that they have every year. 3.5 days they sell over.
Is this the January sale?
The January sale. Then they have the Magic Million, the $10 million Magic Million race day on the Saturday.
Yes, that's a great
and then
race
they have
day.
Book Two on the Sunday. Okay,
Yes.
and they've carried on with that principle, which is great. So, you know, Magic Millions, you got to start looking at them in January and seeing if you maybe want to go and buy a couple of Australian horses. Who knows where we're going to go, but you still got to go there and have a look and see what the story is.
$378 million. That's incredible figures. Well done, Magic Millions.
Yeah.
Lastly, and not leastly, this stunned me when you told me this, and not because I think it's wrong. I think it's completely right. That Dougie White got a lifetime award. And he's one of only 3 people who've ever got a lifetime award.
Well, he's the 3rd person to get a lifetime award in Hong Kong.
In Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And then I threw the question at you, the 2 who must have been right up there would have had to have been, of course, Basil Marcus, Tony Cruz.
No, neither of them.
There was another, who's the other guy who's dominated for years?
Well, George Moore, John Size, these guys have been dominated.
Is this lifetime award for riders?
No, it's just a lifetime award that the Hong Kong...
And John Size hasn't got it?
No, none of them have got it, okay?
So it's a special award for Dougie.
Yeah, and I'll tell you next week who the 2 are.
I need to know the 2 others. I need to know. Got me stumped.
Interesting that John Size won the Trainers' Championship again this on Sunday. They had was the final meeting. Zach Burton won the Riders' Championship.
How did our boys do, Jim?
Carice Teeton has now ridden 300 winners in Hong Kong. Okay?
Very good.
He rode his 300th winner on Sunday. And he rode one of the best races I've ever seen when he got up to beat Zach Burton on a horse called Circuit Surge, I think its name was. It was a brilliant
Circuit Surge or Circuit
Surge? I think that's what its name was. I'm not sure. Anyway, I wrote down Circuit and I can't read.
But Jim, next week we want those 2 names because I'm intrigued. You know, Hong Kong racing's powerful, and there's only 3 people who've got this lifetime award. Well done to Dougie.
Well, who'll get the lifetime award in Australia? Jeff Lloyd, okay?
Oh, 11 years there.
He'd get a lifetime award.
He'd get some award for captain, especially in Queensland.
Absolutely unbelievable. Anyway, just finishing off, Zimbabwe had their big Republic Cup, which is a Group 3 race, and it was won by Tandava, trained by Penny Fisher, and ridden by Dion Sampson.
Well done.
So it was a good day had by all up there. Apparently, they all won some races. And we'll be chatting to Jeff Lloyd. Don't miss it. Well, one of the saddest times of any person in racing's career is when they give up something that they've been involved in and loved all their lives. And this week was the last week that Jeff Lloyd rode horses in professional races. It's sad for all of us because South Africa was his home. This is where he was tutored and mentored and brought up, and I would think that he would give a lot of credibility to the South African Jockeys Academy and the people that made him what he was. Interestingly enough, I've known Jeff Lloyd since he started, because I started training in 1975 and he joined the academy in 1975, or he apprenticed in 1975, and I know he was apprenticed to Brian de Villiers and very successful with Brian de Villiers, and he rode a number of winners for me from my base in Newmarket in those early years, 1978. But we're trying to get him on the phone and have a chat to him, and it's not easy, and unfortunately we've got to record the show. So what I will do is I'll go through some memorable moments in his career, and we'll show you some footage that Nicola kindly sent us. You know, he has 3 children, 2 sons who want to be jockeys, which is very exciting for him. And I think that he's going to dedicate his life now to helping his sons become champion jockeys. So let's go and have a look at the little slide montage that Nicola put together on Jeff's life and career as a jockey. And it will bring a lot of you wonderful memories, because featured prominently, obviously, is Wolf Power, who's one of the great horses that he ever rode, and certainly the Wolf, Ricky Maingard, and Jeff Lloyd were an institution in this country for a number of years. Let's go and pick them up on the slides. Well, there you go. That was a brief look at some of the highlights and lowlights of Jeff's career. Now, he's a most amazing man, Jeff Lloyd, and he had an affliction which a lot of us remember afflictionately. He was a bit squint, Jeff, and when he ran all over the racecourse, which he did quite often in his early career, we said that he didn't know which eye was looking, where it was looking. But it never stopped him. He was always a fantastic human being, and he started his career in 1975 at the Jockeys Academy, and he never even touched a horse. He was born in England, as a lot of you will probably know. His first ride was in June 1976, and it took him 8 months to ride a winner. Jeff, 8 months to ride a winner. I think he rode his second or third winner for me. I remember him very well winning at Newmarket, I think on a filly called Pink Champagne. And he rode a number of winners as an apprentice for me, including the Gold Cup at Turfentine on a horse called Meister Singer. And I've always been very fond of him. And he then went on to win 3 apprentice jockey titles, 77, 78 and 79. He also won 6 South African jockeys titles, and he broke Mace Roberts' record for the most winners in a season of 313. He won 5 Mauritian titles, and he holds the record for the most winners ever ridden in a season in Mauritius. He's ridden 94 Group 1 winners, and you don't know how many other Group and listed races he's won, but he's ridden over 5,500 winners, as the caption showed. He's ridden Group 1s in South Africa, Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore, and 12 Group 1s in the 2006 and 2007 season. He's ridden in 11 countries, and I'm going to call them out to you because he's ridden with success in all of them. South Africa, Mauritius, United Kingdom, Germany, Zimbabwe, Dubai, Macau, Hong Kong, Singapore, New Zealand, and Australia. He rode 7 winners on a card on 4 occasions, 3 times in South Africa and once on Australia. Multiple 5- and 6-time winners. To ride 7 winners on a card is unbelievable. Then he moved to Australia for a better life for his family and to, I think, to wind down his career. But he got involved in sort of riding premierships at Queensland, and he just won his 4th premiership in Queensland at the age of 57. He won the Australian Metropolitan Jockey Premiership in 2017. He's the oldest jockey in the history of Australian racing to win a premiership, and he had that terrible stroke in 2013, but returned after 14 months to win more premierships. He holds the world record for riding 3 Group 1s in a meeting, the Met Day, and won 6 races, including the 3 Group 1s. In a nutshell, Jeff Lloyd is one of the most famous jockeys ever to come out of South Africa. But remember, you can name others that have been unbelievable too. Dougie White, who's just been given a huge applaud by the Hong Kong Jockey Club. Then there was obviously Basil Marcus, Barty Leisha, Mace Roberts, you know, and then you go back to John Gorton, who won Oaks on a filly called Sleeping Partner. You know, these jockeys have gone all over the world and ridden absolutely fantastically for us. They're legends in their own lifetime. I'm sorry we're not able to speak to Jeff because we can't get him on the phone. But what we're going to do is we're going to play out with the interview and the chat after his last ride on Saturday. So let's go and see what they had to say about Jeff Lloyd in Australia.
To try and get a word with Jeff. Unfortunately, he hasn't been able to get a winner today on his final day, but who cares? He's got about 5,500 of them under his belt. It has been an extraordinary career. It comes to a close. He's had 80 of his family and closest friends here today, including his daughter Taya and jockeys in Zach and Jaden. I think they're currently both apprenticed, and hopefully they're as good as their old man, and that's not going to be any easy thing to do because he has been at the top level of the tree for something like 40 years. And I was interested in an interview during the week. He was telling Steve at Hewlett on Radio Tab that if it wasn't for his lovely wife, Nicola, whom I think has been his greatest supporter, he'd probably still be in South Africa. He said he couldn't be bothered doing all the immigration forms back in the mid-2000s, but Nicola did all of that, and he was able to head overseas, and he's just been extraordinary in places like Mauritius, Singapore, Hong Kong, pretty much wherever he lays his hat. And although he's pulling stumps 2 weeks earlier, before the current season ends, he's got another premiership in the bag, 4 consecutive premierships here in Queensland. And not forgetting that he almost called it a day back in 2013 when he had that nasty stroke and he was out for about 14 months. He didn't think that he'd ride again, but he's come back and 4 premierships under his belt. Getting a bit of a hug there from Toby Edmonds. I think Toby might be shedding a few little tears at the moment. All right, Sam, just before we head to the break and have a look at Form Line Extra, take it away. Talk to the Gov for the last time.
The Gov, Jeff Lloyd, congratulations on an outstanding career.
Yeah, look, I've been blessed with a great career and blessed to, have had it for so long. Yeah.
You've ridden all around the world and, had so much luck everywhere you've been. It's been just a fantastic industry for you, the horse racing.
It has. I in my younger days when I travelled, like England, my first ride was a winner. Wherever I went, I had a lot of luck. Australia, funny enough, also my first ride here was in an international race in Moonee Valley when I was about 31 or something, and I won that as well. So, look, I've had a lot of luck, and you need the support. I've always had good support and been around good people in racing, and I think that's the key to success, being around the right people.
You've had taking out 4 jockeys premierships here in Queensland. Queensland has been so good to you.
Well, it has. It was a very good move to come here. I always loved Queensland, loved the Gold Coast. Wasn't sure what it was going to bring, but I brought a lot of success. The relationship I've had with Toby for 4 seasons has been incredible. I probably would have still been stable jockey this year for him, but due to saying I was going to retire last year, he got Ryan, but still managed to support me right through the year as well, which I appreciate. And I'm very happy it's over. I feel it's the right time. I've got no regrets. I just wish I was on a bit of a faster horse than the last, although she did run very well, but she looked a bit fat in the yard and she will improve.
Congratulations on a wonderful career, and everybody here today has enjoyed watching Jeff Lloyd over the journey, and you're a star.
No, thank you. It's been amazing, and the support I've had, and it's just been incredible. And I'm sad I didn't have a winner, but as long as nothing could have won. I would have been sad if something could have won, but I thought I gave them every chance, and it's great to go out like that.
Jeff, best of luck with the next stage of your life.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Sam. Thank you.
Jeff's retiring from the saddle, but he takes his next career, which will be jockey management, to his sons. It's been a wonderful day here at Doomba today, folks. Hopefully you found a few winners, a break, and then Form Line Extra.
Well, there you go. Jeff Lloyd closes an era of a wonderful jockey, superb human being, and a great family man. And I'm sure he's going to have lots of fun being agent for his 2 sons, Jaden and Zach, who he is going to run their careers, and hopefully they will give him a lot of fun and a lot of joy like he's given all of us. Let's finish off with him handing over his saddle to his son. So this is the handing of the baton to the new man. Let's go and see Jeff. And we're honored to be a friend of his, and we wish him all the best for a rich and happy life to finish off with. Jeff Lloyd, we're sorry we weren't able to chat to you, but we will get our chance, and all the success and love down there in Australia.